on Ignite Talks!
There is an estimated 2.5 million OFWs working abroad, wondering what is life like somewhere else. Securing a job or living abroad sounds like a dream come true, isn't it? Today, we'll be talking about the challenges, struggles, and inspiring stories of our fellow men living here in Ireland. Our guests for today are two of the well-known, most respected personalities living here in Ireland. Good afternoon. Welcome. Could you share with us and our viewers, the Filipinos here in Ireland, what is the secret to being a successful individual living abroad?
Living abroad. I'll start probably from when I left the Philippines, which was in 2005. When women or people go abroad, it's either by choice or by necessity. You know, it's choice or by necessity. Necessity, you need to have money. You have to gain or earn money abroad in order to fend for your family back home. That's a necessity. Choice is something more like you can afford to go abroad, or you have options to go abroad, or you can stay in the Philippines. And I was lucky to have a job in the Philippines that I was okay with. But my sister said, while you're single, why don't you go abroad and try to, experience. But I was happy there back home. So I said, okay. He said, 1 year, come to the UK. And
Why is
then,
it UK, ma'am?
UK because she was working there with Procter and Gamble at the time.
Oh,
And then she was setting up a
PRC,
business.
that's a big company.
Yeah, PNG actually.
PNG.
Oh,
I thought it's
no,
PRC.
PRC is the kalaban.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But she, Head and Shoulders yan sila. Yan.
Yeah.
But she's been with PNG for a long time. And then I was the only one in the Philippines, I think, at that time. But I was working at the Asian Institute of Management. I was happy there.
Yeah.
But she was saying, why don't you try while you're single, come abroad, and then 1 year, try it, and then if you don't like, go back. So that was more like, it's like, oh, I'm happy here. But she said, just try. And then you can say, na, you really want to stay in the Philippines. So sabi ko, sige, I'll try. What happened was, so I went, and then she was setting up a business. It was a Curbs franchise. It's a fitness center for women, actually. So then she said, why don't you manage it for me? And then let's see. So sabi ko, oh my God, I don't know anything about, fitness, for example, and all that. And then different country and everything. So niya, sige lang, just try. You'll learn it along the way because my background is in marketing anyway. So sabi ko, sige. So I arrived. It was snowing, tita, in
What year?
What
year was
2005.
Oh, no.
So I really didn't like it, and then I didn't like the no
weather,
offense, the weather,
yeah.
and then it was snowing, and then I had to deliver the flyers myself on the
Oh my
street. Yeah, it was really
You
like
won't do that in the Philippines.
yeah. So
No, you won't
and
do
then
that.
I have a hard time. We are used to American English, so
Yeah.
the British English.
Oh,
is
yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
So then I said, I don't like this. And then in the train, they're so quiet. Sabi ko, ano ba to? So I
It's a
really,
culture shock for you.
Then I said, you know what? I'll just go back. And then what happened was, my father passed away. And then later on, she said, still come back again. So I came back. And she decided, sige na, we'll really get you now as the manager of the business. So I did it for 2 years. And then I thought, sige, after 2 years, they had to move to Switzerland. So sabi ko, paano ba? Should I go home or stay? Kasi I could easily go back to my job in the Philippines. Or sabi ko, sige, ang aking deciding point is if I get a work permit, that's a sign that I should stay. So
So,
sabi
ma'am,
ko,
you came here as a tourist for...
in England, no. I
England.
was
Like
working.
as a working
Yeah, I was
permit, yeah.
with a work permit talaga.
That's
So I was running it for 2 years. And then I thought, if I stay, you know, I'll only stay if another company will hire me.
Yeah.
So sabi ko, sige, kung may magbibigay ng work permit, di ba? Parang that's really a sign. So sabi ko, sige, I went to 2 interviews. And the next employer wanted to get me as a training coordinator instead of an office assistant as he saw my background. Sabi niya, I'll get a work permit for you. So yun.
That's very
Oh,
good.
di ba? So sabi
You're
ko,
lucky.
sabi ko, sige, I think I'll have to stay. But very stressful talaga because I really didn't have links at home kasi wala akong husband or anything. Diba? Sabi ko, my family was there. Pero it was a chance to start a new life.
Yeah. You were single when you
I was single
That's
then.
good. That's
So then I came to England, planning only to stay for a year. But my sister went to Switzerland. Yung brother ko was working as a VP sa TFC at that time. Sa Italy siya, tsaka UK. And he was setting up, yeah, ABS, Filipino Community. So siya ang nag-set up ng TFC sa Italy and UK. And then he had to go back to the Philippines kasi kinuha siya ng GMA. So ako yung naiiwan. So sabi ko, bakit ba? I'm just here supposed to be only temporarily. Pero I ended up staying. So yung they gave me a work permit, I then decided to stay. And then, yun na, I met my husband many years later. But in your question about what is the
Excuse me,
success?
ma'am.
Sorry.
You met your husband in the
In
UK,
the UK.
and he's
He's
Irish.
Irish,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
Ah,
and then,
and then
so I met him. I was still working sa London na at that time. I met him. I met him online. We had a online.
Is it a date?
Yeah.
You have the same story.
I'm not ashamed to talk about it
course,
because
yeah,
sometimes it's for others it's taboo, but now it's no way.
No,
it's the way to go now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're
Even
busy
you know,
and-
like these famous
Yeah.
celebrities,
Yeah.
they go online.
Yeah, and also because I was already in my late 30s.
I think Ma'am Vising does it. Cannot
Yeah.
Cannot relate.
relate.
No, but Tita, at that time, I was really, all my friends were married. So, yung circle mo talaga is limited. Walang mga single men.
And you're busy
Yeah,
doing
that
your
time.
job. Yeah.
So then, I met my husband and then we decided, after having 2 kids there, we decided to move to his place.
come back here in Ireland.
But in terms, yung question mo again about what is the success, what is the secret, it's really, I think, being really proactive. Kasi no one can live where I live now. I live in the farm. And not everyone can survive, you know. It's very isolated.
And you're from Manila. Like you're used to
I'm also from Mindanao.
you're from
I'm from Mindanao, from Jensen.
From Jensen,
So
Manny
I am
Pacquiao's
also-
place.
But
So
you're
I am-
used to
I'm
the
used to
noise
the
at
countryside.
the countryside.
I really like countryside.
Yeah. So
I love it.
I said, even my husband said, up to the part, because we built our own house, sabi niya, when we already put down the foundation, oh, are you really sure? Kasi, wala talaga to, as in, once we do this is it, sabi niya.
No turning back.
Yeah, wala kang kasama sa bahay. Sabi ko, no, I'll be fine. Kasi, as you know, I'm really busy now. Sabi ko, it's in your mind, sabi ko. So, I think the success really is, or the secret really is, trying to use your skills when you have skills that you can use even if you're not working, and try to find a way to share that. And that's what I was thinking, like if I come, because I came from, again, a marketing background, and then biglang I'll have to look after my kids na lang.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, anong magagawa? And I really couldn't sit still at home.
Yeah.
So even before coming, I think the secret is trying to make connections already. So before I came, nag-research na ako, tita, who can I... So I saw Mike Ancheta and everyone else. Sabi ko, sige, i-meet ko sila. I'll start being active in the Filipino community. So it's that, trying to be proactive, doing your research, what can you do, what skills can you share, and also just focusing on small goals.
Yeah.
And then focusing
One
lang
goal at
talaga,
a
one
time.
goal at a time, and then maximizing it talaga, not doing too much or something too big na wala ka namang accomplish. So I think
That's-
it's that planning and organizing.
Like, what's your culture shock when you come here to Ireland? What's the...
Well, culture shock is all the differences that you meet along the way.
For
As
example,
when you
Tita.
live in a new, for example, rearing a child in a
Yeah.
in a cold country. Number one, as a nun, of course, I have no experience in rearing a baby. And the clothes, you know,
Yeah.
it's entirely different when you buy clothes for in cold weather. And do you know what? There is no circumcision in Ireland.
I know. I know.
She knows!
Does it matter?
We know!
No,
I don't think so.
it doesn't. But then it was a kind of it was a big
For you
difference.
po, tita.
Yeah. I said, when are you going to circumcise my baby? I was asking the nurse.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a...
And for
they
them,
said,
that's funny.
No, we have no circumcision here. It was so I said, okay, that's okay.
Like, sorry, tita, if they were the men, like young men or whatever age they were, and they decided to want to have circumcision, do they go abroad? Because no one.
Yeah.
In the UK, for example, there is an option kasi there are people who do it privately. Privately as in it's a private service. You could
No matter how
'cause-
age, what
yeah,
age range.
Yeah, and there, it's like my son, my story is funny because I just totally forgot that she did. I just forgot. Yeah, like I had Charlie and then siguro mga 6 months, 8 months na or whatever. I said, oh my God, I need to circumcise pala. Sabi ko gano'n. And then syempre si Shane, he doesn't know, you know that he doesn't know. Like he's
They
not,
don't- it doesn't matter
It doesn't
with them,
matter
yeah.
either. Sabi niya, whatever you want is fine with me. But for us, you know, it doesn't, it's not in our culture. So I decided, I think it was too late. I was so busy and everything. Sabi ko, you know what, he'll be fine. But it's, that's one.
Yeah,
But you won't
my
mind po if the children are not circumcised because we are kind of
That's right.
lived here so long time. We're adapted to the culture, right?
When I visited the Philippines, you know, my sister is a doctor, and she would say, "Oh, your son is not circumcised. We can circumcise him." I said, "No, it is when you live in a cold country." That is my husband's explanation.
Yeah.
True.
It is not open to infection. You see.
True.
That's what they
Whereas
said.
in the
Yeah.
Philippines, the hot
that's-
weather,
Yeah.
it's open to infection.
In
So
our
that's
country,
why they circumcise.
in our country,
Yeah.
it's a laughing stock.
Yeah.
If you are
But
not,
it's not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not normal.
yeah, it's you become the boy or the
The odd one out.
even the adult
Yeah,
become a
it's-
lot. Oh, it's-
But if someone also told, someone also told me na, oh, 11 years old, you can still, but you know what,
Yeah.
I think I won't anymore.
I think it's embarrassing for
well,
the
if you
child.
are in Ireland, it's okay.
It doesn't really. In
That's
ours, it's a big deal, but here, like, it doesn't really make a difference.
Now, I have a question for Vanda. Do you feel extreme sadness, on your early years here in Ireland?
Early years in Ireland, see, it was different. When I was in England, I was single, so that was different. Because although my sister had friends, and I met her friends. And again, it's in the person. I'm really outgoing. I like meeting new people, and so it helped that I have that in me to meet others, and that kept me busy. Here in Ireland, I knew what I was going to get into because I'm living in the farm. So, I preempted it and I planned for it. Talagang nag-organize ako ng way to keep myself busy. Kasi sa London na, I already knew how to look after the kids by myself, and at least I was in the city.
You're adjusted
Yeah.
already.
So, sabi ko, itong sa Ireland, iba na to. Kasi talagang I'll be with the cows and everything around me. Sabi ko. So, but it turns out, I'm much busier and happier now. Kasi ang dami kong projects.
That's true.
So, it was hard at first, but it helped kasi si family ni Shane, they're very nice. And then, I really went out of the way to meet others.
That's good.
So,
It's
yeah.
proactive.
Yeah, and I
being
went to
proactive.
Dublin and started the outreach. So, talagang mabilis yung...
But do you
We
know
have
what?
so much to
But-
thank you for, Miss Vanda.
But do you know what, Vanda? It's really meeting Filipinos.
Yeah.
You befriend your fellow Filipinos. Because then when we were very few at the moment, we were 50 in the
That was
beginning.
really hard.
50
in whole
Filipino-
Ireland.
Well, it could be the whole of Ireland.
That
And
time
then
when you arrived po, tita,
when I arrived, I just met one at the bookshop, and that started. Yeah, but and then we organized the first Filipino Irish Association, and then it went to so many activities. and that's where we meet. The Filipinos get to learn the association from all over Ireland, and they
Yeah.
will come once a year to Dublin to celebrate Christmas, Christmas celebration.
That's
But
great.
for a Filipino, I don't know. You really want your fellow Filipinos. You want
And
to eat
how
your-
about the food, Tita?
yeah, the food. That
Because
is-
I think before that time, 43 years ago, there's no Filipino
Filipino
shops.
you cannot
So-
get any. Yes, bacon and cabbage.
I think I'll be very, very skinny.
Is that they find bacon and cabbage as the main?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but
must be very
I thank God that I am not fussy with food. I can eat anything. But my husband, he was in the Philippines. He could hardly eat Filipino food.
I was the same in Cavan because when I came, even in Cavan, there's no Filipino restaurant,
Yeah.
and there's only one Asian store. So we lived in Shane's house while our house was being built. So Tita, we had the traditional boiled vegetables every day. Oh my
With
God!
butter a little.
Butter
And
and then
sometimes the same vegetables, carrots,
carrots,
Pot-
potatoes,
potatoes,
and then
cabbage.
cabbage and Brussels sprouts sometimes, or
Brussels
ano yan?
Brussels-
Broccoli, yung ganyan.
yung broccoli nga, wala pa nun eh.
Oh, so then,
No, in my time, wala pa yung broccoli.
so every, siguro after,
Turnips.
turnips, parsnips din.
Parsnips.
So after,
Very Irish.
Masarap.
after 3 weeks, pero after 3 weeks na ganyan, ang kinakain mo, talagang literally, I was gumagano na.
Getting
Sabi ko- Sabi ko kay Shane, is there even like a Chinese takeaway here somewhere?
What's your favorite Filipino food, Ma'am?
Me,
Like, you pray.
adobo, not siguro adobo.
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 That's,
I'm the
Sinigang.
same.
we crave
Sinigang.
Filipino. It feels
And then
at
that's
home
it.
when
I
you go
never really cook well, even now I still don't cook really well. Pero you learn.
there.
Yeah.
You don't
Just
have a
get
choice.
to find
Yeah.
But I'd say because most of the dishes of the Irish people are bland, like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
less salt and other spices.
Very healthy.
Yeah, they have to put salt, on the
We'll
on
be
the
more
plate itself.
healthier. We'll be more healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what advice could you give to our, like Filipinos here in Ireland, Miss Vanda?
In terms
Like
of,
people that's away from home.
yeah.
Because it's sad. It's very sad because
I think you have a new initiative of this, what you call this, the Filipino Usap Tayo Kapatid?
Yes,
or what
yes,
you Usap
yes.
Tayo
Oh yeah,
Kapatid?
that's right. Thanks for reminding
yeah.
me.
Is that an online thing?
It's very good initiative.
It is a
Physio,
thing that,
social,
mental.
yeah.
Bale, since the lockdown, we had a lot of Filipinos who are going through a hard time.
Yeah.
And then the problem is Filipinos think that if they have, they need to go to a therapist or talk to someone, they think they're crazy or
Yeah.
there's something wrong or they're weak, which is really wrong. Kasi we don't like to show that we're sad sometimes. And yun ang problema. Kasi talagang pag if it's a mental challenge or like you're really struggling mentally and emotionally, you really have to let that out. And not necessarily, talk to friends and stuff, but to get the right professional guidance. So, ang ginawa ng isang si Wendell, for example, he suggested, because he met a lot of people in Cork na really going through, as in talagang suicidal. That
It's not just in Cork, it's all over
Yeah, it's all
Ireland,
over.
all
So,
over the world.
he said, you know what, I think we should have like a call in, like just call if you have a problem or someone to talk to. Para lang malabas, and then mostly kasi they don't want to go to an Irish therapist because they can't speak English, and then it's so hard to express in English what your problem is. So then we got this group of people, Tita, called, we call our group Tara Usap Tayo Kapatid. Bale, we have maybe 12 of us speaking different dialects.
Are they counselors or
No, we're
just
just
someone to
us.
talk to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone, but we don't. I just want to make it clear kasi they think that we're providing professional guidance. No, we are a referral
sounding
group.
board. Yes.
And a referral group, and we were trained by. We have one. We have one who is a counselor. She's really trained back in the Philippines, and she's also providing that kind of service now here in, I forget, Salvation Army. Bale, she told us na the way you answer the call is just talk to them, but you're not allowed to give advice. Like you can like sort of just let it out, let it out of them, listen to them. But the most you can do is take down the notes, find out what the problem is, and then refer to the proper professional. And it really helps kasi ang Pinoy mahirap open up.
We always keep
Tsaka
it
feeling
ourselves.
Nila, and then feeling nila may mali sa'yo, or you know, like if
We
you're
don't wanna be
sad,
judged.
if you're sad,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with you. So parang yung that kind of thinking,
Mentality,
dapat i-change talaga yan. That's why
You have to be open-minded.
So little by little, at least we got, I think, 9 people now who called na
That's
talagang
very
going
good.
through a lot.
Is there a hotline for? I
That's
guess
the
that,
one,
yeah,
yeah.
but you can say you can tell them the hotline.
it's the Consulate hotline. It's 01908-1978. So 01908-1978. If you have any problems, anything at all, and we really treat it professionally. It will be in confidence. We won't be naming you when we write the report. We don't even put down the name as well.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's very good.
And
That's a
then
very good.
if you speak, kasi we have one who speaks Waray, someone from different dialects talaga. There's one who can speak 5 dialects. These are the things that you find out about Pinoys.
Very linguistic.
It's nice.
Sabi niya,
It's nice to.
Yeah. So anyone,
you know.
and mostly yung tumatawag, umiiyak na sila or whatever, naghahanap talaga ng meron bang Bisaya. Like, di ba? Mahirap magtagalog.
Ako,
kung
Bisaya.
Kasi kasi sometimes kasi minsan pag gusto mong may kausap, gusto mo talaga yung sarili mo
Yeah,
talaga, you
at
don't
the same
have to
time,
interpret it
you also want to talk to someone na hindi mo kilala.
Yeah.
Kasi,
less judgment and
oo,
less
less
more
judgment.
not personal.
Oo. So, ganun, minsan tumatawag lang sila. Some don't even say their name or where they're
That's
from.
very good initiative.
But they're starting now to, kasi kailangan mong i-motivate na
It's very important
It's a good
here.
service.
It is very important.
I have a question for Tita Vising. Is it expensive to live in Ireland?
Well, it
We just
depends.
want to share to our Filipino.
Well, they said that Dublin is one of the most expensive cities in Europe.
Yeah.
But actually, you live according to your means.
That's
you
so
know,
true as well.
You have also to budget to, things like that. So, mind your money. Yeah. And
I don't know how to mind my money because I don't have money.
Tita, like, do you send money home if it's okay to ask?
You know,
Like, do you have?
thank God all my brothers and sisters were all married when I married because of the situation,
Yeah.
the circumstance. So there was nobody to help. They don't have. If there were students, for example, that's when most Filipinos will help, isn't it? When
Yeah.
they have a sister or a brother going to college.
You're lucky that you're not sending money
Yeah.
home to Philippines because mostly, because my husband is Irish as well, so they don't understand. Sometimes, like they have this thing like, why do you send money to Philippines? Why can't they work?
Yeah.
But my husband now, I think he's very open-minded now. He's okay, but still in their mind, why do you do that? Because
Yeah.
even when we go home to Philippines, for a vacation, we always have the bag
Pasalubong.
packed of pasalubong, and my husband just like, okay. But he's okay. He gives everything, but in their mind, you can.
They have
Because it
questions.
is not practice here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
They're
have
very
pasalubong
independent
here.
and self-reliant. But ours, like, it's our culture to help
that's one
helping
thing
our
I think
family.
that we should emphasize, because sometimes people think that when you're abroad, you're having a happy life,
Yeah.
and you have all the money, and they expect,
That's a good point.
and then when you come home, they expect you to pay. for
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Swimming with money in abroad.
They need to know that it's not easy, and then at the same time, may tendency na they would just rely on you as well abroad. So I think ganun ang mentality na.
Yung financial advice to our family in the
Yeah.
Philippines, like how are they going to manage the money we send them?
Yeah, I think
What's
Because it's not easy to work here.
It's not. We're not picking up money.
it has to be made clear. Kasi I even read a magazine one time where they tend to not work anymore because they rely on their families abroad. We tend to feed it to them all the time, sending them money, spoiling them, so they get lazy.
Exactly.
Diba?
Yeah.
Naging reliant sila on us. I think it's, for me, it's really naka-engrain na yan. Mahirap siyang i-change.
I was talking to several nurses who are sending money, and what they do is they have to send money if they will set up a business back home.
That's a very good
that's good.
compromise.
They kind of say, I'm sending money only if you have a business proposition. So, kung meron kang, if you plan to open a business, I will regularly send you money as investment.
There's a proper
They kind of motivate
That's a good
the-
advice to them, yeah.
motivate the relations with that.
And
Yep.
also
Run your
another
own
thing, apart from motivating them back home to also work hard, is also tayo naman dito, we should live within our means.
Exactly.
Kasi
Yeah.
we try to show back everyone at home that we're
Extravagant.
having all this.
Yeah,
big
we're happy,
parties.
and then that's
But,
why they're
you know,
expecting too much from us.
But then
you know.
it's our way also. Parang defense mechanism din yan. We cannot blame the people doing that because they wanna celebrate as well and show it. But sometimes
show na lang natin.
It's Filipino
it's
culture.
Filipino culture to show that we're happy, but sometimes dapat
it's
din
too much.
Sometimes too much.
It's too much.
Dapat
Kaya nga,
I think celebrating, you can celebrate in a simple way that could make you happy and the other people around you happy. You don't have to spend so much.
extravagant.
I think.
True, yeah.
Kaya nga we have this talk so to let our family back home to ano yung mga
Telling them
pinagdadaanan namin.
what's the life here in
hindi
Ireland.
yung-
it's not easy.
It's not easy. Yung magkakasakit tayo, bawal. Because nobody to take care of us and we have to do our own chores, house chores. We have to go to
No
work.
patulong.
Wala. So,
Yeah, we have to do
kahit
everything.
pagod na pagod tayo at may sakit, kailangan natin bumangon, magtrabaho. Hindi yung katulad ng sa atin na we can ask our family to help us to make us food. Dito
And
wala.
another good advice I heard in
It's a
another.
sacrifice.
I had a Zoom meeting the other time with the OWA, no, yung Overseas Filipino Workers, OWA, POEA, OWA. Anyway, ang advice ng isa talaga, retired na siya na housekeeper for 50 years in London. Sabi niya lang talaga is, we have to remember to look after ourselves, leave a bit for ourselves. Kasi yung iba are working 24 hours to be able to send money home. But at the end of the day, kung magkasakit ka, diba, ikaw din talaga, saan ka kukuha ng pera? For example, if you don't have insurance or whatever like that. And then, how to pay all the bills pag magkasakit ka. So, ang point niya lang talaga, it's good to work hard.
Save
but
money for yourself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
leave a bit for yourself to pamper yourself as well.
Yeah.
Kumbaga. Kasi, at the end of the day, kung magkasakit ka, paano mo papadalahan yung family?
That is so true.
Yeah. Minsan nakakalimutan kasi nga focused lahat na magtatrabaho, additional income and all that. Pero yung health naman, nasa sa
But thanks be to God, if you stay in Ireland and you retire, you get all the benefits back,
That's what's
Fingers
good.
crossed.
Really, medical card, I have medical card, I have
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
many
One
things are
one
free.
good thing about living, guys. One good thing about living here in Ireland, just like me, I had a surgery a month ago.
Free.
Everything is free.
That's right.
If I'm in Philippines, I'll be paying millions. It's because that's
Yeah.
a
Pero
surgery in the head.
Swerte tayo dito,
Yeah.
pero paano yung sa
So-
ibang bansa? No? Na Middle East, yung Dubai, yung...
Yeah.
Saudi.
Hindi lahat ng storya ganito ba? So,
We're lucky to be here
we're
in
lucky
Yeah,
to be
Ireland.
here.
Ireland is
grateful.
very
peaceful
generous.
country, isn't it?
Some of
Very
our
generous,
kababayans
yeah.
here, they're very, very sad because they were here for 10 years and not going back home. The family was
Undocumented
like,
as well. There's a
yeah,
lot as
undocumented. I feel
Yeah,
sad
that's
and sorry
true.
for them,
Yeah.
and I feel them because I have my child, Just imagine, I won't be able to see my daughter for years. So,
It's it's a sacrifice.
I know.
Like it's not only here in Ireland, like in different countries as well. There are
Yeah, it's not only art.
people
Yeah, I
like
know.
that, but yeah, it's a sacrifice for our family back home. I think that's why they're doing that, to make their lives much better. You know.
That's true.
That's Filipino for you.
I know. We
You know,
do
we're,
everything for
we're
our
lucky to
family.
be someone who gives them the money than be the one who asks the money. So it's
better to
we're
give than to
grateful
receive.
for the opportunity and the privilege to be the one who can help our family. At the same time, as well, we want our family to appreciate us, like to support us emotionally as well, like ask us how are we. Minsan kasi pag they will just, no, it's not all of them, but sometimes they thought like we're swimming money and they just send us messages asking for donations or help, financial, but
Yeah.
sometimes
They don't
what
even ask how
they
you
don't know, and sometimes we can give a lot of, no, it's not we can give a lot, we can support everybody financially, but sometimes just a take of just ask us how are we, like emotional support. That's just what we need, and that's what we appreciate the most. Sometimes when we're here so far away from everybody, like it's different here. Like it's not easy. It's there's happy moments. There's a lot of moments that we like we're grateful of, but there's also moments that we feel alone and we feel sad and we feel so homesick, and you know, just ask us if we're okay, how are we doing, how's our day, how's our job. That's
To make
just,
you feel better.
yeah, that's just
know,
it. We
after
don't ask
the-
anything,
The hard work.
and the money we send, just you know, like take it.
I think
It's
another
really
thing as well,
a big
no,
deal.
when people go abroad, just from working, for example, or helping out sa embassy missions and all that. One of the challenges for Filipinos, and I think it's everywhere, and I hear it from other Filipinos as well abroad, na we also tend to become so lazy. We have to be, in terms of let's say for example, ang example pa lang is things that you should be responsible for your immigration status, for example, yung mga requirements niyo on renewing your passport, or yung mga little things like that, and then always depending on others. Minsan, you have to take responsibility on your role and requirements while living in another country, and not just depend on others to help. Yun lang.
Yeah.
Pagdating mo kasi sometimes dito, ay, anong gagawin ko dito? Alam mo yun, what should I do and stuff. Sometimes, magtatanong pa how to do everything step by step. Sometimes,
Yeah.
di ba, like help yourself na lang din. Kasi, yun, parang yun lang yung aking isang advice na once you go to another country, be responsible citizens, find out what the rules are, especially sa employment status nyo and everything like that. Find out everything, what are your benefits, what are the things the government can provide for you, and at the same time, not only limit yourself within the Filipino community, learn about your second home. You know, reach out to the Irish culture, find out really about, because this is it, this is where you'll be living for the rest of your life probably. So know about their culture as well, and integrate. Yun lang. Kasi
There is a chapter here on Discover
Yeah.
Island.
So you have to promote your book.
The
Philippines.
Irish culture is...
where can
more
we get
about
this
it.
data?
Yeah, where can we grab that?
It is online, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
What is the name of the...
Amazon
Amazon.
has it. It's
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Amazon has it.
Amazon.
And then I'll share with you the link. It's in the
Yeah, because I have a YouTube account, and we have Ignite Talks has YouTube account, so we can put the link.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is, you can also view it for free. You don't have to buy the book. I also put it in an online PDF format where you can read it in your device. So this one, From the Philippines to Ireland, talks everything about
It's also about the Philippines.
It's also about the
that's really
Philippines.
good.
Yeah, you feel at
Ireland,
home.
is it what it
That's right.
It's a good read. I
Yeah,
think,
it is
because
very
you feel like you're not isolated. There's someone as
Yeah.
well out there.
And then if you read through this as well, because what Vising did was she introduced the Philippines, and then later on she also talked about the history of how the Filipinos came here, how they migrated and everything. And then she talked a bit about our culture and how, before a lot of people came to get married, no? Filipino invasion of Ireland
that's very interesting.
through marriage.
You should grab one.
Yeah.
And I have
And
to.
I will, Tita.
And then she talks about the different languages. And the interesting thing as well is she talks about the similarities between the Irish and Filipino culture,
Yeah.
about their food, and then the misconceptions about us. And then she was saying as well, which really stuck to my head.
What's the misconception?
The misconception? Well, little things
Like
like
you
we are
think-
Spanish or you're Chinese when you're actually
Oh, yeah.
But the one thing
Why do you speak English?
why
Yeah.
do you speak English, and then why do you all, like things like they think perceptions that are nice but some are wrong as well or not true. And the biggest take out for me from this is culture shock actually is not something to be afraid of, because it is actually a way for you to learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you go abroad, like I never knew much about the Philippines till I came and did this kind of work. Like then people try asking you, so what's the history of the Philippines? What happened? Like why do you speak English so well? So I was like, and then
Yeah, my
and
husband
then-
asked me that.
Yeah, and then why
Yeah.
is it that you can speak Spanish or you have a bit of Spanish? Then I started looking into it. Kasi that's it eh. Parang when you go abroad, you don't only learn about others, you also learn a lot about yourself.
Yourself is
Yeah.
number one.
Like you don't know a lot about the Philippines.
People are asking you those question, you have to have an answer.
And you get to appreciate your culture even
Yeah,
more.
right, yeah.
I think.
So yun lang, you go back to your values na. Alam mo yun, like even a professor now here in Dublin, he was my classmate back home when he came. And he said, alam mo, na-notice ko, sociologist kasi siya, na when Filipinos go abroad, minsan they tend to be very patriotic in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Parang before naman, hindi man lang pumupunta yan sa, di ba?
No, bakit
You
no?
become-
You appreciate
You
more
fall,
being a
fall in
Filipino.
love with your own country.
True, when you're away.
Look at me. What I'm wearing. Yeah, the Filipino flag.
That's why
And this one here.
That's why the
Talking of
first
patriotic.
lesson is know yourself.
Yeah.
Who are you as a Filipino? Why
Yeah.
are you different from the Irish? What are the differences between your culture and the Irish culture?
Kasi siguro sa atin, parang wala tayong dapat pag-aralan kasi isa lang yung culture natin. Kasi Filipino, pag
We are
napunta tayo sa
immersed
ibang...
in it.
Yeah,
So we
we have
don't-
to integrate and we have to learn who are we really.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, which
And
is
then-
really good for
Like this one here in the back, why do Filipinos speak English? Why are there so many nurses? Why are we the only Asians with Spanish names? Why isn't Irish widely spoken in Ireland? So she only talks not only the Philippines but also Irish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
that's
are the
good.
Irish so engrossed by the weather?
I'll
Why
get
do
one,
they-
tita.
Why do they drink so much tea? So it's everything. This one you can find in Amazon. And then I'll send you the link as well later. You can also read it for free. Kasi
Yeah, we'll
that's
send. I put the link into my YouTube account, Sarah Lolor, and Ignite Talks, so that if you want to grab one, then you can get one.
And also
It's
another-
very interesting, guys.
Vising also wrote a lot of. She was the editor-in-chief of the Filipino Forum for many years, and they have at least maybe 20 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 20 issues that I'm planning
Wow.
to put them or ask Mike for the PDF files para ma-share din namin.
that's really nice.
It's almost the history of Filipinos in Ireland, from especially during the Celtic Tiger. There is Eugene who was
part of it.
Stop, ma'am.
We are hoping to see that. It will be
Yeah,
uploaded, yes.
that's my next project kasi there are books like before I continue, this is a book from
The
someone.
offers is fabulous Pinay.
Yeah.
Did you know it?
No, this is someone from Switzerland, and her name is Donna Avellana Kunzler. I think she's married to either a German or a Swiss.
Swiss,
Yeah.
I
How do
think,
you
yeah.
pronounce it? Kunzler. Anyway,
It's more,
parang may ano siya eh.
it's
Anyway,
more Swiss, yeah.
Swiss, yeah. So she sent a copy to the consulate, and she's writing about how to survive as a Filipino worker abroad. The only
that's
thing,
really good.
Yeah, it's good. Like she was saying you have to be ready to do your own laundry. You have to.
That's right.
That's really good. That's really
It's
good.
really good. And then she
Walang
was
katulong.
Briefing you.
and then be good with navigating or finding your way around. Be brave enough to ask someone if you're lost. She's also saying, don't be ashamed if you eat alone somewhere.
Well done to you, Donna.
Because yeah, it's like really telling you that you have to have survival skills when you go abroad, and that's one of the things she said. Do your research where you're going, learn their language or learn about their culture as well, which I mentioned earlier. And then yun, meron siyang practical questions as well. So she sent 2 copies. I'm gonna tell her that I promoted that 12 for her. She needs to pay me for
And
this.
is it okay, Vanda, if we ask how much?
Yeah, I'll find out. She just
Where
sent
can we get
2
that
copies.
in Easons
I'll
or-
email her and ask her. But that's it. The overseas fabulous Pinay. The thing lang with this, I noticed, and I will give the feedback to her as well. And I mentioned it to Tita Vising na it's more for women who can afford to parang mas
High class.
high class. Medyo
Parang
mas-
ganun, hindi ako yan.
By a millennial person.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yun
All
lang
the
ang-
traveling and then
Yeah, because the way she, like
Yeah,
the
the
drawing,
drawing.
it's like a millennial.
Yeah, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
And it will inspire a lot of
Yeah,
Filipinos.
kasi
as well.
meron
also
meron
help.
naman siyang practical tips din na can be for anyone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but
relatable as well.
Do you know, in the Philippines, we don't want to be on our own. To walk alone, to go to a party alone, it's always, sino kasama mo?
Yeah.
We always have,
Yeah.
that's why I think that that don't be independent.
be independent.
Go wherever.
What's saying?
Hindi ba maski yung
iba yung culture
married
dito.
people, yung pag husband and wife go to a party, ayaw mong lumayo sa asawa mo.
We should be together.
Parating magkakabit.
The whole day,
Di ba
the whole
ganon?
night.
Pero dito, when you go to a party as husband, no, you mingle freely with everyone.
Yeah.
And here po, the husband or the wife can go to their own,
Yeah.
whatever, social.
You have they give your time.
There
They
is a
give your-
kind of independence that, which is good as well. You know, it is
I've
good.
read there's this, you call that individualistic culture, the one they have here, and what we have is called collectivistic culture.
That's true.
So it's so different from their culture and our culture. So sometimes we have this, like why they're like that, and why we're like this.
Yung parang
But because we have,
parating nakakabit yung that is Filipino.
there's nothing, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
you will
husband
like-
now, he's like a Filipino.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like Irish as well because he's...
Short.
He doesn't,
Ano?
he doesn't want to hear that.
Skin color.
Yeah, and his color is not really like
White,
Irish white because he always like put his hand, when he's driving, put his hand like that so that
Sunburn.
and one time I was very I was laughing. It's because one of Filipino friend, my friend, she said to my husband, and he doesn't like that. She said, George, I like your leg, it's so white. And George almost died. And George said, like, tell your friend. I said, don't say that to him. And I said, no, she's just joking. No, she's not joking.
Do you know what? the Irish doesn't like their white complexion as the Filipinos don't like them.
Yeah, yeah.
I was taking glutathione here for like 3 years, and when I met my husband, I was like, "What are you
What
doing?"
is that?
You just like to make you whiten your
Whitening,
skin.
yeah.
Like, when you go in the Philippine shop, there's always the whitening
Yeah,
products,
that's right.
whitening soap.
And then here it's
everything.
tanning.
It's tanning.
Jealous of her skin color.
So I was like,
Yeah.
glutathione. I was
Irish
like,
people,
what?
they always,
time.
yeah,
Your
Irish
time.
people, they always say, "Oh my God, in my job, Sarah, I love your color. Stop." Because
That's right.
I want to be white. Don't say that to me, Sarah. Are you crazy? We're paying for for the tanning.
That's right, yeah.
And I said, yeah, we're paying for for the whitening.
You don't like what you have.
That's another
But
culture.
now
Yeah.
they appreciate more our brown color.
You know,
Like,
the
when you're-
nurses, when they first arrived here during the Celtic Tiger, they went to the hospital. You know, the residents would say, "Oh my God, how nice your tan is."
Yeah.
You know, I like your tan.
You know that's their natural
For
color.
us, it's very offensive,
Yeah.
but for them, like, oh yeah, you're great. You look gorgeous.
I like your color.
Oh my God, please stop saying.
It's so different.
The whites want to be brown and the brown wants to be white.
Yeah, no contentment. God is
Don't
like
want what we
confused.
Well, I'm asking both of you a question. Like, do you, what can you advise for Filipinos who wants to go abroad? Is there any briefing or whatever you want to
Yeah,
tell
before
them?
we part
Kayo, tita,
ways.
from your perspective.
Do you,
Well, it's being, know yourself first. Know yourself. Who are you as a Filipino? How do you know yourself? Because then you will be meeting a foreigner and they will be of different culture as you are. So if you don't know yourself, you won't be able to explain yourself. Like for example, the Hiya culture.
Yeah,
We are conscious of we are conscious of ours as we were talking there about color, about our likes and dislikes even. You have to know that, and then you can then see the other as different as you are, and you'll be able to understand that better.
that's a very good,
That's a basic. I was just gonna add, because apart from knowing yourself and your culture and everything, it's also yung see, when people go abroad, sometimes there are some that change dramatically when they're like, okay, I am now,
yeah,
no? Parang back home, you're very different. But when you go abroad, parang sino ka na?
yeah.
Ganon na.
Like somebody.
Yeah, then which is very common.
Yeah.
And then I think lang for me, yung self-identity mo should be already clear. Kung you're humble from home, ganun ka na all the time. If you like your language, and then biglang na slang ka na, ganyan.
Yeah,
madami.
I have.
Wait, but some are like that.
Yeah.
Magaling silang mag-pick up. Ako hanggang ngayon, Bisaya pa rin
accent.
Ako rin, di na wala yung
Hindi na
Tagalog.
wala. For me,
I thought before you were Ilocano. Sorry.
oh yeah, she is.
Tagalog.
Tagalog.
Nueva Ecija. Nueva Ecija, but Tagalog area. Merong Ilocano, but we are in the Tagalog area. Yeah. And then sa Zambales din, merong Ilocano, pero Tagalog.
Yun lang, parang for me, you have to be, know your identity and stay humble. For me lang ha, parang kasi that speaks a lot talaga. Pag dating mo sa abroad, it doesn't mean you're 100 times better than others. You have your own problems. And yun lang, be humble and appreciate others and respect others. Yun lang talaga. Minsan for me, it boils down to the basic values. What you
Yeah.
learned from when you were small, it's respecting and loving others and really appreciating and knowing
But do you think that the Filipinos also, once you go abroad, you expecting when they arrive home, the people back home will expect you to be different, money-wise,
Yeah.
smart-wise.
Yeah.
They expect that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, which is I think also, Tita, brings us to the main problem na some people decide to stay on, undocumented or whatever it is, because of the fear of being laughed at.
That's back
Because
home.
going back home is a failure.
That's right.
That's the perception sometimes. Oh, bakit ka bumalik? Nandun ka na. Diba? Like, nandun ka na. So, sometimes marami akong naririnig talaga na they'd rather stay kasi nakakahiya.
Oh, yeah.
Nakakahiyang
Nahiya
umuwi
system.
kasi feeling
They
nila,
can't throw a towel.
Nakakahiya.
yeah,
oh.
parang hindi ako successful if I didn't stay. So, that's the thing. Yun ang reality din na people should know na it's never easy and whatever people are
Yeah.
going through,
That's
hindi mo
true.
talaga alam kung anong
That's
nasa
why
isip
the
nila.
relation should be welcoming you as well, whether you are a success or not.
Yeah.
It's not only what money you can give them, but there is failure along the way, isn't it?
Yeah,
So-
before we,
I just have a follow-up. One last
Yeah.
question before we end up. Being a Filipino po and having lived here for almost half of your life, where would you retire? Here or in the Philippines?
Here.
Here po.
Because I have 43 years.
yeah.
Oh, I have no more friends back home. Okay, I have my relations.
You're accustomed
But
here,
I am already well settled here.
Yeah, and you have
When was
kids
the last
here.
time you went
Yeah.
home?
2008. And then I feel that I cannot travel anymore. You know, I cannot take the long haul travel. So I am very much settled here.
Embracing
my two
Ireland
children,
already.
my grandchildren are here. So although I have my son married a French woman, so he lives in Brittany. So
Okay. And how about you, Miss Vanda?
Me.
Would you retire here?
That's a big question. Hindi pa namin napag-isipan yan. Pero, see, compared to Shane, then Tita would know this. Shane is, compared to me, ako adventurous. I could live anywhere. Ilagay mo ako kahit saan, I'll
That's
survive.
true.
Si Shane is medyo kavan talaga siya.
Irish, Irish.
Very Irish.
Irish.
Hindi siya talaga, hindi siya at home anywhere else.
That's right.
So parang,
So I think
Maybe
the answer is
it's
here.
yeah, pero he's like, for example, he also asked me, kasi we were preparing our will. Yan, isa pa yan, yung will.
Yeah.
Dapat
Check your will.
ayusin nyo yan. Kasi there's so many things that, problems that will come out
Yeah.
if someone in your family passes away abroad.
Yeah.
Maraming problema yan. So, as early as now, is pag-isipan na rin dapat ng mga OFW yan. Pero yun, ang comment pa lang is, you're talking about what if you pass away, where will you get buried? Yeah. Naisip ko, sabi ko, syempre dun sa automatic, diba? Sa ano, sa Philippines talaga. Pero sabi niya, sa Philippines, sabi niya, but how will we visit you? So alam mo, naisip ko din, ito ang solution ko, okay, have me cremated, have part of me here, and have part of me.
Maybe your heart in the Philippines.
Yeah, always stay.
Beside my parents.
It's always, yeah.
But anyway, yun, ang advice lang is, yun, never forget your roots.
That's the very most important. So, guys, before we say bye-bye, I have to promote my YouTube channel. Please do subscribe Sarah Lawler's channel. And for the book of Tita Vising and Vanda, I have to put the link into my YouTube channel, Sarah Lawler, and into the Ignite Talks. And that's it, guys. And we'll see you next time.
And this one as well. We want to promote this one too. That's a very good red as well. Yeah,
That's it. Bye.
Thank you for watching Ignite Talk.